It is Monday, May the 4th, 2026. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time to get in the weeds. A marvelous Monday, a magnificent Monday. May the 4th be with you Monday. Jeremy Lambert is here, and he is ready for a magnificent Monday on the main channel because we're back. And I realized that last night as I was setting up the show, and I looked at the date and I said, we haven't done main since the time Sean needed us to do main, and here we are. We're back.
Yeah, because the last time we were going to do main, overbooked was the main, so...
That's right.
Yeah. I nearly died before the show, Joel. Joel almost witnessed my death.
I can confirm. Yes, that's true. Luckily, you know what? Honestly, had things been that bad, I would have known who to text.
My mom?
No, your wife.
Oh.
She's literally
she came in the room afterwards because she nearly heard me dying. So
yeah,
I thought you meant to like fill in on the show. That's
I'm glad that's where you go to first.
Yeah, the show's got to go on. If I die 5 minutes before the show, you guys still got to do the show.
Like, I mean, granted, on Thursday at like 3 a.m, I'm texting SP3 being like, "Hey, brother, I need you to do this show. I'm dying out here."
Don't stop, doing the show on my behalf of death. You got to keep it going here.
A valid point, but you're okay. You survived. Putting
Allegedly.
It all. Yes.
Yeah, I had to take a med with pudding like I'm a 10-year-old because I don't know. Can't do it anymore. I'm too old. It's just old.
We are broken down versions of ourselves.
Yeah,
so I want to put it out there early in the show. Thank you to folks who sent me messages and said nice things, except for Jeremy, about my week last week. So this all started with what I thought was going to be sciatica because I'm old, and then it turns out it's not sciatica. Someone told me it was something else called piriformis syndrome, which basically like hits your backside and your hips. And then suddenly I started having some issues with like tingling and numbness in my left leg, and that's still the sciatic nerve. But anyway, I went to the to Emerge on Friday morning because I did not sleep well. I couldn't sleep on Thursday. It was so bad. And the doctor at Emerge was just like, so good news is like you're going to be okay, but it's most likely a pinched nerve is what they told me. They're like, best case scenario, pinched nerve. MRI would confirm it, but I'm not in anywhere near a position to need an MRI in an emergency capacity. So my hope is that it goes away. They did give me some. They gave me some anti-inflammatories, so I won't be swearing as much on the show, I guess, or making people as mad as I should. But inflammatories. So,
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, you just made the look as if I was making a bad joke. I was
appalled by your bad joke. Yeah, that's what that was.
So between that and the stretching, it should hopefully take care of some things. But it was not fun, and it's been about 2 months of this. So, and finally, to be told that it is most likely one thing is a lot better than it is definitely these things. So yeah, other people have said, back pain sucks, and I deal with the bad back sometimes, but this has been like my hip down to my leg. That's where it's been the worst. Yeah, I can deal with back pain, but when my leg is involved, man, that shuts off a lot of function. So here I am. I'm back, hopefully, sitting on a dining room chair because it's a hard enough surface on my ass that I can comfortably sit without my body kind of contracting into itself.
You got to sit on like a hardwood chair? That sounds like it sucks, honestly.
So this one's padded at least, but it's not well padded. I've been sitting on this for probably a week or two now. I just haven't really said anything. My office chair, like my regular chair, it's 6 years old, man. It was good, but now it's kind of caved to a point because you get an ass groove, and I am at that point where 6 years I need a new chair, and I got to save up for one that's actually going to be good for the long amounts of time I spend sitting doing work, and that's going to be the next money injection into my body.
All right. Well, good luck, Joel. I'm glad you're feeling better and you got some answers with everything. This is what happens when you run from the grind.
Ran so hard my legs went numb.
Yeah.
Damn it.
That's why you got to embrace it instead of running from it. And you won't.
Gaming chairs, by the way. gaming chairs, not the best. Gaming chairs are, if you buy the really expensive high-end ones, those can be good, but usually a good Herman Miller chair would do you well, but you're going to spend a lot of money on that too.
I've been using the same gaming chair for like 7 years now. I should probably get like a new one because mine's kind of worn, but whatever, it serves me well enough. I mean, I have back pain, but I think it's just mainly because I'm old, and that's that. And I don't sleep well on it. Like I sleep on my back, so that's like not the best sleeping method, but that's the only way I can like fall asleep.
It's just the way it goes, baby. I usually sleep on my stomach, but this leg thing has been a whole new game of trying to figure out how to sleep without my muscles contracting in the most awkward of ways. Can I tell you the worst thing, as we have old man talk to start the show, the worst thing is having calf spasms when your calf muscle just starts going off on you. That's the worst thing, man. I deal with that one a lot when I'm not on some sort of medication, like the anti-inflammatory.
I won't tell you how I get calf spasms.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. That's the good way to get them. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do those. But yes, calf spasms are just the best. So, yes, it's traditionally called a Charlie horse.
I couldn't think of anything when it came to. I was thinking of like Charlie Day for some reason.
Oh, he's great.
And that was that.
I like Charlie Day. And so that's how it's been. And I haven't done a show since Wednesday, so I'm going to be completely out of practice today. And we have a lot to talk about, allegedly.
Do we?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of the wrestling and, of course, the bigger news from the weekend.
I don't have SmackDown review. That should end in DQ.
So I mean, I watched until the gingerbread man died, and then that was it for me.
That was sad. I actually wanted to talk about the gingerbread man because that was the best.
Listen, this is the first time where I can tell you I walked away from a scene where someone was kicked in the dick, and I said, I don't like that.
Trick Williams was so good during that. So he was amazing.
Oh,
like doing like the X and everything, and the backstage interview. I don't know if he's gonna make it. That was I don't know what else happened on SmackDown. I'm sure it was a fine show, maybe, allegedly.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay. But man, the gingerbread man stuff with Trick Williams. Trick was just, he's so good. Like they should just put the title on him tomorrow. I don't care at this point. But that was so funny.
I wouldn't go that far. It was one of those, like, it just went too long, which seems to be like the problem with a lot of the SmackDown stuff. No, like the segments themselves, they'll go too long, not the stretch of the story. Whatever, that's another situation.
No, but that segment wasn't long enough.
Anyway, that and the Danhausen and Miz segment, that went on too long too. Again,
I was fine with that.
It reached its comedy apex like minutes earlier, and they just stretched it out because they thought that was the answer.
Yeah, that one was just predictable. So that's why I was like, sure, whatever. But the gingerbread, they should have done the whole show out of the gingerbread man.
You think maybe next Friday should be the gingerbread memorial tournament?
I hope the funeral is like the entire 3-hour show. I don't care about the rest of that stuff.
Are they doing a funeral next week? I hope so.
Yeah, they are. No, there isn't a hope so. They've announced it.
Once again, did not watch the third hour. SmackDown ends for me.
Don't you like check the news or anything though? Like,
I'll listen to a post show if I remember.
You don't have to watch it. Like, you don't have to watch the rest of the show, but you should at least like keep up on the news.
Our own post show did like 45 minutes on Cresta's birthday, rightfully so. Happy belated birthday to Cresta. She is wonderful. Do love her to bits. But the rest of the show was barely talked about, so I can't really retain much.
No, okay. There wasn't too much like good stuff on the show. I mean, it ended a DQ, so theoretically I don't have to review this show, but there wasn't a whole lot to review. Like, good for Ricky. Ricky made his debut. He confronted Cody, and then they had a match, and he lost, and Gunther attacked Cody, and
okay,
so that's the next program. At least they got something for Gunther. No,
Does Gunther finally lose one?
he shouldn't, but maybe. But he should.
Or is this where Randy comes back and then we're going to start
Nah.
teasing Randy versus Gunther in the retirement match?
I hope Pat McAfee is aligned with Gunther because they showed so much respect to each other last year. Oh, that's where I would go, honestly.
They should be best friends. They should absolutely be best friends now. Gunther and Pat McAfee. And it's Pat McAfee trying to teach Gunther all of his little slangs, all of his like Dan and things like that he tries to do. And meanwhile, Gunther's like, that's how I speak normally. What are you talking about? That's how I say SmackDown. How do you say it? But that'd be fun. Hold on. SV3 saying Joel came on his day off to crap on an objectively fine Joe Hendry segment, but is allowing Jeremy to pretend the gingerbread segment was good. It was awful. That's why he likes it. Well, yes, because I know exactly what Jeremy likes, and I just let him have stupid likeness.
The gingerbread segment ruled. It absolutely ruled. How dare you?
Someone's saying Pat costing him and then coming back like I worked all you stupid marks would actually get heat. No, it wouldn't. Everyone would be like, oh shit, we're back to this again. I love that in that little documentary, it's like Jelly Roll being like the voice of reason. You're like, hey man, we're not good at this. We're good at something else. I'm not good at anything because I'm just a dumb redneck, but we should get out of here. And Pat being like, okay. Like that was how they wrote them off. But it's okay. There will be more celebrity involvement in WWE if you watch or pay attention to Fightful Select.
Yeah, I don't need Jelly Roll back, but I do want Pat McAfee back. That was hilarious. Pat McAfee just jumping in to any program I'm cool with because he doesn't make it better, but he makes it just more hilarious, and that's all I really care about anyway. So that's what I'm here for.
I get it. And you know what? Ricky Saint's coming in and doing his shtick on his debut. I'm hoping that we get to see more out of Ricky moving forward. More than just like coming out doing the catchphrases and he's a great wrestler. That's really what it is. But I hope we find whatever it is, because I don't know if the crowd was like super understanding of what Ricky can be as a character, more than just what he was spouting off as like, you know, it's going to be Saints down or whatever he was trying to do, or Rick down. There's more to Ricky Saints, but he had a good match with Cody. It was a very good match. Just I don't know what the landing point is for Ricky Saints on SmackDown yet.
Yeah, I get what you're saying when it comes to Ricky. Like, confronting Cody is a good start, but why am I talking about this? The show ended in a DQ.
Well, I used my Jedi magic on you.
But I guess since it's May the 4th.
I also love that I almost got away with saying Jedi magic before I cracked.
Nah. But he was like the afterthought after all of that because Gunther just attacked Cody, and that's what people remember, not that Ricky debuted and then lost. Like, you got to have some type of follow-up with him. I mean, Mello kind of started off doing stuff with Cody and then did nothing for like a year until they finally started giving him an opportunity, and then they took all it away before WrestleMania. So there's got to be some type of like actual substantial stuff with Ricky. And I mean, for the most part on SmackDown, they haven't fully proven they know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, well, hopefully that 2 hours starting in June, that will be helpful. Let's go back to 2 hours. Let's go back to that so I can say at 10 o'clock, SmackDown goes off the air with blank, and nobody have to stomp on my bit. Be like, oh, there's still another hour. Be like, no, there isn't. But that's okay. Speaking of which, we still have another 2 hours for you. So how about you leave a thumbs up on the video? Have you done that yet? Have you thought about it yet? We're on main channel today, so of course you want to be here. We're normally on Fightful Overbooked, our sister channel. That's every single day, 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. Jeremy literally froze with the fireworks. Good for you. Love it. And you can also subscribe here on Fightful and over on Fightful Overbooked, like I said, where we normally have a plethora of shows, not just 5 days a week of In the Weeds, but also JPJ and Collins host Coast to Coast on Sundays. You got the Spotlight with Jeremy and Steven Jensen on Thursdays. And of course, you have Coexisting with Rob and Maggie on Fridays. Sometimes they move around, but they're pretty good at telling you when they do. So go ahead, check that out over on Fightful Overbooked. I think we once dubbed it the ESPN 2, but now that ESPN just kind of shows the first hours of main roster PLEs all willy-nilly, I don't really know how to call us anymore.
We're just a channel.
We are just a channel. Everyone should just go follow that channel. Go subscribe to that channel. It's free.
Yeah.
Go join the channel now. It's free.
Allegedly.
SmackDown should have an overrun. No, absolutely not. There should be no more overruns in wrestling. Get rid of all the overruns. Listen, you're going into a 3-hour Dynamite and Collision this week. There will absolutely be an overrun.
Oh, is there? Oh, it is 3 hours this week.
3 hours and then 1 hour on Saturday.
Yeah, fairway to hell, heaven. Heaven's the charity tournament. Hell's the wrestling.
Fairway to hell is the wrestling.
Matches.
If it's a negative connotation, wrestling's doing it. Someone was asking me earlier. I think Reb and Survivor was asking me if I'm going to Montreal for the alleged AEW Redemption pay-per-view that I've been hinting at for literally 4 months to you people.
That long?
It's been about 4 months. It's been since January. I went back on my text messages. My plan is to go as long as timing fits. But yes, I won't be trying to make a flight immediately after the press conference because the press conference will end at 2 a.m. since they will be back on the East Coast for this one. And it'll be presumably a Sunday night. It'll be a Sunday night. Get ready for that. Just letting everyone know now.
I'm tired of their Sunday pay-per-views. They need to knock that off.
Too bad. Sorry, it's just the way it is. It'll be fun. There'll be a lot of fun stuff to happen. But Montreal is a lot of fun, especially in the summertime. That time of year in July, it's really warm, it's hot, and there's a ton of construction. So get ready. Montreal is like the consummate winter and construction mentality. Like you got winter and then you have construction, the 2 seasons.
They're going to have that city ruined if the Canadians keep going any further. So it's going to really be under construction.
As one does. That was a hell of a hockey game.
I mean, was it? It was a domination by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then they lost because Montreal managed to score 2 goals on 9 shots. I mean, it was fun to watch. Like, I enjoyed it. I was very entertained by it. I don't care that the Lightning lost. Like, whatever. They've won cups in the past decade. They've won 2 in the past decade, so they don't need any more. Montreal's a fun, young team, so good on them. I can't wait for their series against Buffalo. That should be a lot of fun. But man, winning a game with 9 shots on goal, like that shouldn't happen. It legitimately should not happen, and it did. A playoff game at that. Absolutely insane.
Hey man, the Raps shouldn't have gone 7 games either, you could say, but they did it too.
They faced come on. They faced Cleveland. Cleveland is gonna Cleveland things.
Yeah, come on, they battled back.
What do you mean they battled back?
The Raptors battled back.
The Raptors played well. They lost. They couldn't. What?
So did the Lightning until they fell.
You're not making any sense right now.
My point is, you can win or lose games. It doesn't matter how good of a team you are. Winning and losing.
They had 9 shots on goal, Joel.
Sure, whatever. That happens. You get in your head and suddenly you suck. Welcome to sports. Things can just happen. It's not like wrestling where it's supposedly scripted.
Okay.
You're in a good mood anyway because your Colorado Avalanche won a big one.
I never said I wasn't in a good mood. I'm just trying to determine how you equated the Montreal Canadiens having 9 shots on goal and winning to whatever the Raptors were doing. They went 7, which was good, and they were a 5 seed. They have 9 shots on goal. It's just insane to me. I just don't know how you got on the Raptors out of all of this.
Well, because the Raptors also battled back themselves to a 7th game, but they lost.
What is this battle back?
They battled back from a 2-0 deficit.
Okay.
And then they tied it at 3, and they came back, and they won Game 6 from behind.
Yeah, that was an insane shot by RJ Barrett that
It
went
was.
in, but
Absolutely. They went into game 7. They were doing pretty well till the third, and then by the end of the third, that was it for them. So by the end of the third for Tampa Bay, they were just kind of, that was it. They lost it on a couple shots that they couldn't keep back.
okay, let's move on from this conversation.
Oh, come on. Go ahead. Montreal wins, and that's the end of that series.
This would be like if the Raptors had won after they got like 50 less field goal attempts than the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like that is what we're talking about. I have no idea how you're equating the Raptors battling back but losing to Montreal winning with 9. I just don't understand the comparison here. That's all. So I'm trying to move on.
I'm just playing 4D chess with sports, brother.
I don't think you're playing any game right now. I feel like you are. I don't even have a good analogy because I don't want to make
4D chess.
It's definitely not 4D chess.
4D
it's
chess.
Definitely not.
Zeno is telling me that SmackDown will be in Toronto on August 21st. Raw will be in Ottawa the following week. I will not be at either of those shows. I can tell you that right now. Unless WWE is suddenly going to say, hey, Joel, you should come to the shows. Then maybe I'll go. But I highly doubt that they'll be asking for me to go. But if they do. Meh. Wait, SmackDown's 2 hours by then? Maybe I'll go. If they tell me. Yes, Gray's Ottawa coming to Raw, allegedly. Allegedly.
No, there's not really allegedly. They announced it.
I haven't seen the announcement yet, so if you're confirming it here, there we go.
I am confirming it. August 24th. It's in Ottawa.
There you go. Back to Ottawa for Monday Night Raw. You get to be Netflixed in Ottawa.
Toronto is August 21st.
Yeah, that one. That was what Gray said, or that's what Zeno Hour said originally.
Okay.
Will you go? Do you want to come cross the border for this?
No.
All right. Well, at least I tried. You want to come to Montreal?
No, I don't want to travel at all.
Wow. Doing a North American house show? Doing in London, Ontario. Why is London, Ontario? Whatever. Doesn't matter. London, Ontario is a very interesting place. I have been to there for TV. And yes. Yeah, J. Cole. I told Jeremy about the J. Cole concert in Montreal.
Yeah.
And it's Ariana Grande the next night.
Okay. I do like the Ariana Grande.
So you can really make a full weekend of this. It would literally be J. Cole, wrestling, Ariana Grande, and she's there.
Why do you say J. Cole like it's one name? J. Cole.
Canadian?
That's how you pronounced it.
Well, you see, J. Cole is just like the Tampa Bay Lightning in that they gave up those.
God.
But they're not like the Raptors who battled back.
I still don't understand it. I'm moving on.
It's because you're sick. If you understood, you get it.
No one understood it. Is everybody sick? Like,
yes, absolutely. Everyone is a little bit sick in our chat.
No one understood how you are comparing the two.
Well,
I'm trying to talk about a historic happening of the Montreal Canadiens having 9 shots on goal and winning a game, and you are equating it to an every round happening of a 3-3.
Yeah, and every round,
2 teams,
and every playoff, there's bound to be a 7th game, and this was a 7th game, and it happened. And
this has nothing to do with it. They won with 9 shots on goal, Joel.
Yeah, well, there you go. Great defense, and then terrible goaltending.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Ryan Lambert says it's May the 4th. Happy Star Trek Day. Happy Star Trek Day to you. I hope you enjoy your time with the Borg, because it is. Anyway, Mocha City Abish.
Micah, what up?
Pistons found a way. Canadiens tried to kill me, and the Avs wanted to play baseball. Good morning, fellas. LOL.
Man, that Avs game last night. So obviously, I was watching, and like we got up 3-0, and I was like, all right, cool. Like let's just put this away. Nice, easy game. Go forward. And then no, like Minnesota had to come back, which was unfortunate. And it was tied at 5 after 2. I missed the start of the third period because I was scoring my own goals, but the Avs outscored the Wild 2-0. So I'm going to have to continue to score so the Avs can continue to score clearly, because we outscored Minnesota 2-0 during that. So that's going to, if we ever fall behind, I know what I'm doing. Or if we need to take a lead, I know what I'm doing. And then we ended up winning, which was nice. But that game was insane last night. I'm glad we won. It was a nice win. It's 1-0. Whatever. We'll see what happens from here. But that was good, mainly because the Avs won. I'm not talking about the Canadiens and the Lightning anymore. The Pistons won that series in Game 6. There was no way the Magic were winning Game 7 after the way they blew Game 6. 19 points in the second half? What? How do you score 19 points? I mean, they were like Toronto. They battled back, and then they just lost it.
You get it now. You understand.
They didn't battle back, though. They had the lead, and they blew it. 19 points in the second half. I was like, yeah, the Pistons got Game 7. And like, it was kind of close in the first half, but then I never trusted Orlando in the second half. Like, 19 points in an entire NBA half is insane to me. And somehow Houston scored less than them. I mean, not in the half, but they only scored 78 points against the Lakers. So, and then, yeah, Philly and Boston, Game 7 as well. SP3 and I will talk about Jaylen Brown tomorrow.
Why don't you want to talk about him and the Raptors?
Do you know who Jaylen Brown plays for?
Not anymore. Did he play for the Knicks? Who could possibly care about sports?
Someone kill me.
Oh, God. What a good time this was. Will Chisholm saying, I'm kind of surprised JC beat Charlotte. That is something that happened. Of course, it took 2 other women to do it. So there you go. Yes, JC Jane beat Charlotte using her roaring elbow. It was a fine match. I know you're excited about JC Jane.
I like JC Jane.
See? Big JC Jane fans over here.
Yeah.
She had one of my favorite matches against Redacted.
Yeah. And that was one of the better matches on SmackDown. I mean, women's wise, I guess. I mean, that women's tag team match is...
Yeah, I don't know much to say about that either.
Did you watch it? It was in the second hour or third hour.
I did because it was halfway through because of the I was watching the Raps game. I was watching that game on the other screen. Remember how the Raptors came back in Game 6 and they won? That game was a big comeback.
It was in the third hour, so I don't know if you actually watched this match.
I did watch that. I made it to 10:30, so I did watch all the way up to 10:30.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that tag match was not very good. Especially with the entrance. Bree comes out to Bree mode, and then they have to stop it and then start the entrance again. And she's just standing there awkwardly and like, oh, there's my song. Oh, it was a good time. Yeah, but the match was what it was.
Izzy Dame.
Nope, not that time. Maybe on Wednesday when we're back talking about NXT. She's gonna win that women's championship.
Well, I'm not talking NXT on Wednesday. All right, the schedule for the Avs and the Thunder absolutely sucks. Tuesday they play on the same day. Thursday is just the Thunder, but then they play on the same day Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday as well. 4 games on the same day with my 2 teams. I'm not talking about wrestling for the next couple of weeks, but especially on Wednesday when both teams are playing. Absolutely not.
Someone's saying, I don't know why they brought Paige in, because they love nostalgia in this company.
Yeah, basically.
Which is why Kofi Kingston will be back in about 15 years.
15 years. I don't know about that.
Paige was gone for about, what, 10 years?
Paige wasn't gone that long.
From WWE specifically? She left,
Yeah.
what, 20? Oh, she did that. Yeah. She was
there during the pandemic.
Was she there in pandemic?
Yeah, because she appeared on the video screen with Bailey and Sasha that one time.
Did she? Okay. I'm trying to think back. I remember her managing Kabuki Warriors. She debuted, what was it, 2023 in AEW at Grand Slam?
Yes.
She left in 21. There you go. So about 5 years. All right. Okay. Well, either way, Kofi will be in his prime in 15 years. Yeah, there you go. Someone say that in the chat. Oh, I guess we should we get into that, or do we have something else you want to talk about before we go into to that conversation?
No, we can. I'd much rather move on from sports.
Now you want? Oh, really? Now you want to talk about wrestling, huh?
Apparently, she debuted at Grand Slam 2022.
Of course,
time has no meaning.
Time is a flat circle, just like my frame, just like my brain. The New Day depart WWE. They asked for their releases. They requested them. They were granted them. JC Mateo also gone, along with Tonga Loa. All four guys gone from WWE as of Saturday. It was announced through bodyslam.net, through Corey Hayes, and of course over here at Fightful Select. This was definitely unexpected in many cases, especially with the New Day. The JC Mateo stuff and Tonga Loa we can talk about independently of this. New Day, as many people have been shocked. And then as news came out about the potential of why they decided to part ways, I think it made a lot more sense to those who have been following New Day's career and just the way TKO and WWE have been working or not working in some cases, depending who you ask. But yes, they're gone. New Day has departed, and of all the places they could land, maybe they're going to TNA, right?
God, I hope not.
I gotta talk to Paul Walter Hauser now, apparently.
Why? You messaged this, but you provided like no context.
Yeah, all you had to do was go to my timeline. So I tweeted.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you should though. As a joke, I tweeted out New Day to TNA to save the tag division. To which the rage baiters were all out. They were on full force about this one. This got a lot of views. So Paul Walter Hauser says, I gotta find it. TNA factually cannot afford them. I say that with zero emotionality or bias. They've come too far to not go make millions and have dream matches in AEW. Logic. And I almost wanted to reply, thank you, Paul Walter Hauser. Thank you. But I just left it alone. I'm like, you know what? You just don't get it. You just don't understand me. And when he comes on our show, we're going to have words, me and Mr. Walter Hauser.
Okay. Like, I saw your tweet, but I don't read the replies to my own tweets and stuff. I'm not reading the replies to yours. So
you should start. Some of them are great, especially in this case.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're hilarious and people are stupid. Again, I see that all the time on my timeline. I don't care to read that stuff. Your tweet was good. I'm not gonna like take that away from you.
Damn right.
But when you put that in our group chat, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, at least provide the link to what he tweeted so we have some context.
No, we got to do.
You're worse than the people who leave us news to do. It's like, hey, do this article, and it's like, can I get some like context behind this? A little bit of help behind this. I'm already doing 1,500 different things. What are we talking about?
New Day depart WWE and Paul Walter Hauser.
I'm more sad about Tonga Loa departing. That's not true, but I am very sad that Tonga Loa is departing. I hope Tony Khan hires him and he wrestles 15-minute matches every week on Collision. Just to pop me and no one else. I don't care if you guys are mad about it. I want to see it. That's all I care about. Tonga Loa, 15-minute matches. Build Collision around him. That's what needs to happen. Build Collision around Tonga Loa. The New Day stuff was surprising, obviously. Like, it was Saturday morning. I was like, oh, cool, nice little Saturday. Hopefully it's nice and slow news day. I got stuff to do tonight. And we can, ease into the weekend where there's no major shows outside of New Japan and have a good weekend. And WWE said no. I guess New Day kind of said no as well. It's mutual, so that makes me feel a little bit better about things. But it's mutual because WWE wanted to do some bullshit, right? This isn't like New Day wanted to just like mutually leave because they probably weren't happy, but they did some bullshit with, hey, restructure your deal, even though we are making billions and we got to tout our record revenue every week, and we don't think you're as valuable because Triple H hasn't booked you properly in a year and a half now. So, hey, why don't you restructure your deal on the things? Yeah, I don't blame them for leaving. This is, I think most people understand how big of a loss this is. I don't think like it can be overstated how big of a loss this is, because not only are you losing a popular TV act, one of the most popular TV acts of all time. This is a group that should not have gotten over to this level, especially with what they were given at first. And look, what they were given at first didn't get over, but they should not have gotten over to this level. But through their own talent, they continue to make opportunities for themselves. They got cereal over, man. They were throwing pancakes to people.
And those pancakes are gross, by the way. You ever caught one? Do not eat them. I'm saying this retroactively to someone from 2017. Do not eat the pancakes. Awful.
Like it was a group that like should not have gotten over to this level, and not only did they get over to this level, but Big E became a champion. Kofi Kingston became a champion. Kofi Kingston provided one of the best moments in wrestling history for a lot of people, certainly over the last decade or so. Like that's what happened with Kofi and Kofi Mania. Xavier Woods should have been a much bigger single star. He kind of got the opportunity with King of the Ring, but they never really went anywhere with that. But not only do their everything on television, like everything they did off television. I mean, Woods and Up, Up, Down, Down, that created a whole new fan base for them. Woods is someone that should have been a WWE lifer just based on everything he did outside of the company. Kind of like The Miz, where he would do all the promotional events. He would do all the stuff you would want someone like that to do to build the brand and build his brand, but also build the WWE brand and talk highly of WWE. And for some reason, they just never seem to appreciate that. And kind of the same thing with Kofi. Kofi to a lesser extent, but Kofi was still part of all that. Those are two guys who did the media, showed up to all of the events, especially when they were baby faces. And I don't know how you lowball those guys or want them to restructure their deal. I don't get it. I assume they're going to AEW, no idea, but obviously MJF's tweeting about it, FTR, the Bucks, like all these guys are tweeting about it because I'm sure Tony Khan's already made an offer to them. The moment he saw this news, he was probably like, okay, Cole, what's Woods' number? Claudia, what's Woods' number?
He already had them somehow.
I'm sure he did.
He called Joey Janela and was like, Joey, give me today's number.
Yeah, I'm sure he did, but he could not pick up that phone fast enough to get them on that roster. And if that's what they do, if that's what they want to do, then I certainly look forward to it because they're going to kill it over there. They are absolutely, yeah, Kenny probably would have been a better, quicker call than Cole or Claudio. But, I was going to party references there instead of who kind of Woods' maybe best friend is in the business. But yeah, they're going to kill it over there because you can give them anything and they're going to make it work, and they're still very good in the ring, and they're going to do everything outside of the television show that's going to make AEW look bigger and better. It's going to be, look, it's going to rule. And I'm very much looking forward to New Day in that setting if that is what happens.
Going back to the restructuring and the making millions of dollars and all that, I do remind people that when the company took over, that when TKO became, when the amalgamation started, they were also coming in at a loss. And again, this is still them trying to make up for money that they don't have. And I'm not making excuses, but from the business standpoint, this is their kind of viewpoint: is we need to make the money up, and we need to make up for the lost money that we have for, or the lost money that we don't have from doing this amalgamation, this conglomeration. No, but the point of it being, they're going to keep doing this because it is going to be cost cutting. And this is what happens when you merge companies, is that people get cut, and typically it starts office and then it goes talent, and sometimes it's somewhere in between. We saw that there was a WWE director who announced that after 20 years he was gone from the company, and was something that they didn't expect to happen in their lifetime, but here they are, because it can happen to anyone, given the fact that you can either hire someone cheaper, or maybe there's someone working on the UFC side of things who they could just bring over and have them piggyback on shows as needed. This is part of restructuring. This is part of when two companies become one. You can't take on twice the workload of, or twice the you can't take on twice the people load, but you will delegate the full workload to half the people, and that sucks. That is the reality of these situations. Now, to be asking talent who have been with your company forever to restructure when they've done everything that you mentioned they've been doing, whether that's media, whether that's just being ambassadors for the company, having longevity, and being able to continue to be the face of a brand or a company, that should warrant some sort of loyalty. That should warrant some sort of opportunity for them to maintain what they've been given from a financial standpoint. Instead, they were asked to restructure. They probably said, well, you're not bringing in enough money for us. You're not as important as you were 10 years ago. Therefore, we don't care about you. Go away. That's effectively how it feels in a situation like that. You're telling them, good for what have you done for me lately, is really what it is. And if you can't show them what have you done for me lately, then smart on Woods and Kofi to be like, all right, well, we know we're not valued here, so we'll go be valued somewhere else. This is a huge opportunity for them to show WWE and to show TKO that their value is more than just what they did 10 years ago. They're still incredibly valued in the space, and they can show other money-making opportunities that are lost by TKO for not giving them that opportunity as well. And if AEW is smart, and to a certain degree, I hope they will be, they will take those opportunities to market and to build out whatever Creed and Kofi's new name would be, or whatever their new brand would be, to make a lot more money, to find avenues for revenue. But that'll come with a potential signing. Don't know when that would happen.
The what have you done for me lately stuff, and I'll disagree with what you were saying here. It's not their fault.
No, not at all.
It's like, it's really not, because they were one of the hottest acts in the company after the Big E split. That should have been, and it felt like a turn for the ages there. And they did absolutely nothing with it. I mean, we've been doing this show long enough to where we recapped it day by day on this show between us three, and we were all baffled at how they dropped the ball with this New Day turn this much. Like, it started off okay because they were talking to like Ray and Cody and everything, and they were still like, still getting booed and everything. But then the stuff with Ray went too long. They gave him a here damn tag team title win at WrestleMania and did nothing after that. Like, they completely fumbled that whole thing. They should have been main eventing off of that. They should have been working with guys like Cody. They should have been working with Punk and everybody off of that turn. And instead, it was just random tag team stuff because it and they have no idea what to do with tag team wrestling. Like unless they can throw a bunch of good teams into matches and be like, hey, go have good matches, and then here's the TLC match. Like that's it. But I really can't believe how bad they fumbled that heel turn. And that was kind of the downfall of things, but that's not their fault. I don't think New Day was there being like, hey, you know what we should do after this turn? Nothing. How about we just sit around and do nothing? Their value was killed because the 1,500 writers that they have couldn't figure something else. Either the writers or Triple H, whoever you want to place the blame on. They couldn't figure out what to do with them. These guys are smart enough to know that they can pitch stuff. They can get their stuff on television. They know what works and what doesn't work. And they weren't given any opportunity after the turn. The stuff with Waller, I thought should have been much better. And I don't blame them. All three are very talented. All three are very entertaining. But they were just doing paint by numbers kind of stuff. There was no real depth and meat to it. I thought maybe the Javon Evans stuff could go somewhere, but clearly they didn't have any real plans with Kofi and Javon outside of like, hey, let's do a match because it sounds cool on paper. But yeah, like the reason their value is down, which I do think their value is down, but it's not their fault. Their value is down. Their value is down because they weren't featured the way they should have been featured, given how good they all are and how entertaining they all are.
Yeah, that heel turn could have been absolutely legendary for them. We talk about how long they've been around, and for them to get rid of Big E, who can't wrestle, can't do anything for himself in the ring. You could have done so much more with that, but it all just turned into really a big nothing burger because they sat them, they benched them, they did backstage segments with them. They
don't bench people.
That's right, they don't bench people. They just put people away and put them on like the side interview segments where they put them up in the third level with whoever was interviewing them, and then they'd say a bunch of words about nothing, and then eventually they came back and it was empty at that point. There was nothing there was no bounce back. There was no follow-up to that heel turn. And of course, the problem with Big E not being able to wrestle meant that like that story loop kind of remained open for too long. There was no proxy. There was no one replacing him until they found Grayson Waller. Like it didn't work. And as a result, they just kind of got stuck. And the funniest thing to me, or at least the best stuff that they did when they were in this heel turn, was the morning of losing the tag titles after Mania last year, where they're all in black and everything, the giant hat, and like they went out of their way to do this. They went out of their way to make themselves look like they were these ridiculous people in mourning, and it was very funny. But of course, it never goes anywhere because, God forbid, you get yourself over in wrestling because then you get punished. And it just felt like they were never given that opportunity. You mentioned the Javon Evans and Kofi Kingston match. And Phil on Grapsody this past weekend was kind of pointing out, like, it sucks that happened. And it almost makes you think that, like, they saw Javon, they saw Kofi, and they said, we're going to go with the younger guy. And that's just kind of how they left it. And that's shitty if that is the situation. I understand that in this business, you do kind of have some sort of, you do have a timeline, but also these guys weren't anywhere near the end of it. There was so much more to do. And on top of that, the lack of care or lack of interest given to tag team wrestling on the men's division, especially, it just continues to show when you let a team like New Day walk. You let teams like Motor City Machine Guns, you let them go. You break up Guerrillas of Destiny and let one of them go, or he walks, whichever it is. The opportunities to have had really awesome matches that people who have been watching wrestling outside of WWE for a long time could have enjoyed, and he could have gotten a little bit more goodwill with something like that, even one or two, or do a pay-per-view match with some of these guys. You could have built on it, but instead, your current SmackDown tag team champions are two singles guys, and your current Raw tag team champions are insert question here: 2 singles guys, one of whom is a social media influencer, and the other one is I don't know what to call him. Austin Theory.
Don't look at me for. I'll get in trouble.
Fair, you would, especially on main.
It's baffling how they screwed this up. Like really, really baffling. Dude, just let them go out there and be New Day, even if you're not using them every week. Like I don't think they were. I don't know this. I don't want to put words in their mouth. Somebody can ask them, and maybe they'll give a truthful answer. I don't think they were thrilled with how they've been used since the split. I mean, I would imagine they haven't been, considering it should have been a bigger deal. But they seemed like they were just fine being part of the locker room, showing up every week, hanging out with all their friends, playing their video games, and just being veteran guys willing to help out the younger talent. And if they needed to be called upon, then they could be called upon, which, all right, it's a fine role for anybody, especially as older people. Just let that be, if that's the case. Like, just let them continue to do the stuff that whatever you're gonna do with them, and whatever they're going to do outside of the company, continue to have them do that stuff because they're so great at that stuff, and don't mess with their contracts. Just pay them what you've already said you're going to pay. Whenever the contract comes up, I mean, they'll probably, ask them to take a pay cut off of that, and then that's a whole different story, because then they're going to be like, well, you should probably do more with us if you want us to, so we can justify this money out here. I'm again just baffled that they screwed up 2 guys who really just should have been lifers in the company. Like, really should have been surefire lifers with the company. Kofi's been there forever. Woods has been there for 16 years or so. Kofi's been there for like 20 when you count the FCW and Deep South stuff. Like they really should have just been complete lifers there, and they should have been part of sort of like the next generation of who was going to help with everything. And now they're probably going to be revitalized elsewhere, and that'll be that. And the worst part is, I mean, for the fans, it's obviously terrible, but at least for the fans, like, we're going to hopefully see them back on television in 90 days and doing stuff that we're going to enjoy. Like, this just kills the locker room, man. Like, imagine if I know, like, not everybody said something, but there were a few people who posted pictures or messages and stuff. But losing 2 guys who were just reliable and clearly a joy to be around. I mean, Woods has one of the most infectious laughs I've ever heard. Like, losing guys like that, it just makes it tough to, like, want to come to work, because it's like, wait, if they're willing to say to these guys, hey, you're not as valuable as you think you are, so we'll just let you go. Like, they're willing to say that to former champions, like the most decorated tag team of all time, outside maybe the Usos. Like, they're willing to say that to these guys who have been there for decades. What are they willing to say to me? Like, because I'm sure most of these guys, even if they think they're valuable, they probably don't look at themselves as like, well, I'm not as valuable as like Kofi. I'm not as valuable as Woods. Those guys are really valuable. Wait, they're willing to let them go? Yeah, I'm not safe here. Like you're just killing locker room vibes off of that. And they've been doing that for, for a little while now, going back to even like when Truth was gone, and then it's all part of the show, and are you enjoying the show and shit. But you know, to do that is very disconcerting as somebody in that locker room. I would imagine. I'm not actually in that locker room. I don't know. But I would imagine it's just like, man, when am I next if they're willing to do this to these two?
They see a lot of turnover. That is one thing that kind of cuts into the pain. And they've all been conditioned in a lot of ways to say, oh, you never know when someone's going to be gone the next day, blah, blah, blah. It's, what was the NXT thing? Like, you're not here to fill a spot. You're here to take a spot. That was the mentality for so long. You're taking a spot, not filling a spot. That basically means everyone's expendable. So to be telling people that you're expendable, it automatically sets up a precedence of expendability being okay. You make friends on the road. You absolutely do. And I'm not going to make excuses for anyone who might be upset about this. They should be. Listen, your friends aren't on the road anymore. It sucks. You want to be on the road with your friends. You want to be at work with your friends. And when you lose that opportunity, it's downer. It's also work. And for some of them, they just see it as work. And at the end of the day, you clock in, clock out, and you could just text your friends later. I don't know what the feeling is going to be backstage today. I'm not there. I'm never there, but it is certainly worth thinking about when your friends decide to leave, and they made the decision to leave. That is a big difference as well. We are looking at, and the way that they left is certainly, to me, more important because again, they saw their value over what was being offered, and they took advantage of their value and stood up for that. I think that's a big deal to keep in mind. But listen, if TKO is still going to want to restructure deals or at least expect people to be on lower cost contracts, then yeah, people are going to be more aware of their expendability in a situation like this.
And they made the decision to leave because they were asked to effectively take a pay cut. This wasn't a, okay, we're going to leave because our contract is running out and they're lowballing us. I mean, it's effectively the same thing. But yeah, they made the decision to leave because they were asked to do something that they didn't need to do. It's almost worse in that way because, again, I think they would have just been fine just doing what they've been doing and going through their contract, and maybe they resign, maybe they don't, but just happy to continue to show up to work, do whatever was asked of them, be with their friends and all that stuff, and then that be that. Like, I'm not saying they were forced out because they could have taken less money, but they were asked to restructure. And I'll be a little bit fair to TKO here. I don't know what restructure means. It could mean cut time off of your deal and make the same amount in the long term. When NFL players restructure their deal, a lot of times it basically comes down to like take like a signing bonus money here or an incentive portion here instead of guaranteed money, so it saves cap space and things like that. I don't know how these WWE deals work compared to that. So I don't know if it became like some type of incentive deal, but incentive deal in wrestling is a whole lot different than incentive deal in sports because, and again, I don't even know if they have like incentive deals in wrestling, but it's different because you can't control that. In sports, at least, hey, go out there and get 5 sacks. Okay, if I'm going to get the playing time, I feel confident I'm going to get 5 sacks. Incentive deal in wrestling is like, hey, win the title at WrestleMania. Well, that's not going to happen. I can't control if I win the title at WrestleMania, so I know I'm not cashing in on this incentive. So, but again, I don't know what the restructuring was. But it couldn't have been great if they were looked at it and were like, you know what? Instead, we're just going to go elsewhere. We're just not even going to bother with this. Like, yeah, releases happen. Guys leave all the time, and you become maybe a little bit numb to it if you're in the locker room and stuff. But some stuff's gonna hurt a lot more than others. And when you're coming off the heels of losing someone like Kyrie, who was very beloved, losing someone like Nikki Cross, who was very beloved, losing someone, I don't know how beloved Bo was, but Bray was certainly beloved, and it seemed like Bo should have just had a spot there forever just because they love Bray so much. Losing someone like that, and now losing New Day, like, it adds up. And look, R-Truth is back, and that's great, but that still probably sticks with people a little bit of, all right, they were just willing to kind of let him go until the fans effectively pushed them to make that right, and then they made it right, and then you lose other people off of that. Like, it's one thing, again, I get the turnover. You want to release NXT people and maybe people who have not been there that long, and maybe or people who just haven't gotten over, or there clearly just wasn't any plans for them. I don't condone any of this. I'm not saying like any of this should happen. I much prefer the contract expiration stuff. But you want to let those people go. Like, that's one thing. And I think people might understand, like, all right, that's a business portion of it. But when you're going to preach family to everybody, and then you're going to ask these two people who have been soldiers for a decade, 2 decades in the case of Kofi, that's a tough sell to continue to be like, oh, we're a family here. And it's like, then why'd you let go of two of the most beloved people in company history, two guys who made everything better around here?
After mom and dad pulled you aside and said, hey, the will, we want to give you a lot less when we die. Is that okay? Because we're family, right? We love you. That's basically, it's the same as the whole family mentality. It's like, we're going to give you less from the will, even though we told you we'd give you more. Is that going to be okay? Well, no, mom and dad, because this was something that we talked about. Nothing's changed in our family. Why are we doing this? There's no fight. It's silly. It's the dumbest thing to be. It's the dumbest thing to have to be restructured when you're effective. When you can be effective both in the ring and behind the scenes, when you could be a teacher, when you can be a top tier level wrestler, and you have been a main event before, it's kind of ridiculous just to be like, hey, by the way, can you can we restructure things and maybe give you less for more, or more time for less, whatever it is. They're not a family. It's never a family. No company is a family, by the way. Don't ever let them tell you that. It's one thing I always appreciate about this place. We have never said once that Fightful is a family. I've never been told that this is a family, because first of all, I hate Jeremy. Okay. I don't hate my brother as much, but I hate Jeremy. SP3 is okay. It's like that little cousin that I see once in a while. Anyway, all of this to say, New Day now have a lot of opportunities ahead of them as to where they could go. I mean, as we've said, I think most people are expecting AEW. Would not be a surprise to anybody, but it's going to be up to them. It's going to be to their decision where they go. Maybe wrestling is something they are done with. Maybe they're going to be offered big deals to do more television, take less bumps, whatever that's going to be. We have a few super chats that kind of speak to that. First, Ryan Lambert saying, New Day versus Motor City Machine Guns versus FTR versus the Bucks at All In. Yes, please. I do wonder if Tony would be at all interested in restructuring potential plans for All In to have these new guys come in, because Tony's not really much of a guy who diverts from his plans when he has a long-term plan in play.
I think that the more likely scenario, I still think it's Bucks, FTR, Edge, and Christian at All In.
Same here.
I think the more likely scenario is New Day debuts after that match, and that becomes when they first show up. I don't know with Motor City Machine Guns what's going to happen there. I assume they will also be going to AEW. I'll put this out there. I would not be super surprised if in the next 90 days TKO and WWE come back with a better offer, and kind of like they did with R-Truth, and try to make good off of this. Now Kofi and Woods might be like, no, like we ain't doing this. Like you've made up your mind. Now, okay, now you want to see how valuable we are. I'm like, no, we're gonna go out and we're gonna still prove that we had this value before this sort of backlash out here. But it would not surprise me if after seeing all of this, if TKO was like, maybe we screwed this one up. Let's try to make this right.
I am of the belief that they really did not like having to bring back Truth because of the fans. So
but my listen to the fans.
Yeah, there you go. But this is the same thing. Someone had asked on the Raw post show. It was for Sean, but I gave my 2 cents about whether the "We Want Kyrie" chants could bring Kyrie back. And my general feeling, and I think Sean echoed a similar sentiment, was like they listened for R-Truth, but they haven't really listened for anyone else. To me, the Kyrie stuff was like, we're not going to give you a here damn moment, because once you bring her back, what are you going to do with her? They learned with R-Truth that once you brought him back, what were you going to do with him? And it took them almost a year to figure out what they were going to do with him, because they brought him back, made him a heel, had him cut his hair, did the "I'm driving now," but he wasn't driving anywhere. Then John Cena turned babyface, and that was like, well, perfect. Now we can mirror that with Truth, and now he's a babyface again, and no one's going to ask questions about that unless you're not an idiot. And now he's a tag champion with Damian Priest, just because they didn't have anything else going on, so they figured they just toss them together. That was the trajectory with Truth. Beloved character, been with the company forever, I get it, but I don't even know how much he was being paid compared to New Day. I don't want to get into speculation on that. But with Kyrie, I think most people just wanted to see her finish out whatever story that was. More than anything, you just left the door open on a story that was moving for the last 6 months, probably longer if I think about it. But the point was, you had something going, and you let it go. And that kind of frustrated people more, including people inside WWE. I mean, he had AJ Styles on his podcast being like, that was confusing. Don't know why that happened, especially in the middle of a story. Typically, you don't do that. But with New Day, yeah, again, everything we're saying is true when it comes to how important they are and how loyal they were at the same time. Could you bring them back? Yes, you could. But I just don't see them or the fans seeing it as a way as a reason to bring them back. They didn't let their contract lapse. That's the other thing. This wasn't like R-Truth, where like the contract was over and they were like, we're not bringing you back. They actively negotiated with New Day, and New Day walked away. So if anything, TKO is going to be under the bus if they come back, because now New Day has all of the leverage, and they can just come back and be like, okay, whatever you were going to do, now it's double. But I don't know what the expectations are from those two. If I was in that shoe and I was feeling petty, I might be like, double it. Bobby Cruz said the same thing with the ROH story on Boots to Boots a couple weeks ago, where he was like, I had my Sinclair money that I was going to offer, or that I was going to ask them to do. And then when Tony offered me to do Final Battle after he bought ROH, I had my Sinclair offer, which was like an exponential amount of money. And then I had what it was eventually my TK offer, which was a much more reasonable amount of money, because I wanted to stick it to Sinclair because they had screwed me out of everything, and my friends too, when ROH went under with the post-pandemic stuff. So it was just very funny the way that worked out. And I could see them at TKO just being like, no, we tried everything we could, and now we're done. And could they come back later if they wanted to? Sure, maybe they're going to go to the table. But for New Day, maybe this is an opportunity to do something new, something exciting, something different, which after 15 to 20 years independently of each other, that's a pretty big opportunity, especially when you have that leverage and you have that many people in other companies rooting for you to come and work for them. That's a pretty good feeling right now, I'd say.
What is this insistence that WWE must still be?
He is not that guy. It wasn't 10 years ago. He is not. I think what we're trying to do is trying to give multiple angles to a story while being objective to what it could mean in the future. Does it mean the New Day comes back? Anyone can come back, but I don't think we're giving TKO, reason to do it or telling them they're gonna do it. I think it's just more talking about leaving options on the table as we do.
Yeah, my whole point is it just would not surprise me if TKO kind of sees the backlash from this, and much like the truth thing, and is like, all right, we screwed up. Let's try to make this right and show we actually do care about the fans. And when, I mean, it's obvious that they don't, because they, based on all of this decisions they've made for about a year plus at this point, it just would not surprise me if that happens. Now, I don't think New Day has any reason to listen to them. Like, I don't. Maybe if it is double, maybe they're like, hey, we want double, and they're like, okay, we'll give you double. Then maybe it's like, all right, well, maybe we will take this. I know people are talking about Kyrie and Killer Cross and all this stuff. We got to look at these. We got to look at the differences here. Kyrie, beloved. They liked Kyrie. They weren't really doing anything with Kyrie. Yes, she was part of this storyline, but please tell me what they were like kind of really doing with Kyrie at this point. Same thing with Cross. Cross, okay, they kind of gave him one storyline, but like I don't think they loved Killer Cross like that. I know Triple H loved them and all of this stuff, but I don't think they don't love you like that. New Day is a different level than Kyrie and Killer Cross. New Day is a different level than R-Truth. It's similar levels, but I also think they're a higher level than R-Truth, honestly. So, look, do I think it's going to happen? No, not really. I don't think they're going to budge and be like, okay, we screwed up. Like they did that last year with Truth. And as Joel said, which I agree with, I think they did that begrudgingly. And it was like, oh, shit, all right, we got to do something. And then, it's all part of the show and everything. But I think it showed based on what they followed up with him with that they didn't really want to bring him back. They didn't have any real desire or plans for him, and they just kind of fell into stuff because R-Truth is entertaining and he finds ways to get himself into stuff, and people love him and want to work with him. And so in the end it kind of worked out. But again, New Day, if I'm looking at it like, you probably don't really have plans for us, you just want to prevent us from going here, and forget all that. We want to go here, even if TKO does come over the top with, let's say they do double the money that New Day was going to get. New Day might still be like, hey, you offered us double, that's great, we appreciate that. You kind of told us how you feel the first time, and so we're out of here. But again, I'm just trying to throw it out there that maybe TKO comes back, and it would surprise me. I'm not even say they're going to do it, but if we hear the report of like, hey, TKO came back with a better offer and all this stuff, like that would not surprise me. Where it would have surprised me if it was someone like Kyrie or Cross and things like that. And the other thing is, Kyrie got the chance on Monday during the Asuka and Io segment. Cross didn't really get any chance after he left. Maybe there was like a smattering on the Raw after SummerSlam, but like not much. But then they were gone by the next show. Same with Kyrie. Now maybe Kyrie gets them to tonight. Truth got them on all three shows very loudly at various points that entire week. And if New Day gets the same thing, which would not surprise me, again, that might tell TKO of like, okay, let's maybe figure something out. Now, if New Day doesn't get those chance, then TKO would probably be like, all right, well, we made the right decision. See you later.
So I am curious if there was anything sent internally or maybe just spoken about backstage. Maybe don't publicly go so hard when people get released on socials. Send them a nice text, but don't do what you do.
Truth. Everyone came out of the woodwork
Yeah.
for Truth,
And
where
this time it's different. People are saying it, like people are saying, can't, you know, it's a new day, whatever. Like people are making reference, but Truth was a whole other beast, and you ain't seen anything like that since. And I feel like that may have forced the hands a little bit further.
yeah, people were posting like full on messages for like John Cena was posting stuff about Truth and everything. And most people, when it comes like Priest, had kind of posted the biggest thing when it came to New Day. Everyone else is just kind of like posting photos mainly. Like Big E ain't even posting anything. He posted the photo by Jonathan Davenport, but he's not posted like any type of statement or anything. And yeah, most people are just posting like photos that they have with Kofi or Woods or both of them and things like that. Yeah, Truth was a different beast, and it could very well be possible of like, hey, releases are gonna happen. Shut up. Don't post about your feelings and all of this stuff. And that's a very big possibility as well, which tells you all you need to know about WWE and TKO if that's the case.
Yeah. So again, curious to find out. Might be something to look into, but we haven't heard anything specifically, but it's very possible that there was some scuttlebutt and they were just like, maybe just text your friends and say, gonna miss you, pal, or put a photo up, but don't go so hard at us. But as Louis asking, have you considered the feelings of the corporation? Have you considered their feelings? Is this a new NWA thing, the Corp? I have to assume that this is the Corp is an NWA gimmick because Louis talking about it.
That's fair. That would be a good. I mean, they kind of did. They did the corporation in WWE. It's not kind of like they legitimately did that.
Yes.
Yeah. They're gonna turn. Who can they basically make into Ari Emanuel on the television show?
On NWA or in WWE?
No, on WWE.
Miz.
And Miz would actually be
Miz being the company. Miz being the Corp.
Yeah, Miz kind of being like, remember the network, Don Callis was the network. Yeah.
Cyrus the Virus. I loved that gimmick and everyone hated it because I was also like all of 13 years old and I was just like, oh, that son of a bitch, the network, but also he's got all the power. That was cool.
They did that in WCW as well with the powers that be.
Yeah, the power and then
Russo.
The powers that Nazi. I mean, the powers that be.
Yeah. The Miz doing that of him basically being Ari Emanuel. Oh, Cody.
The thing is, Cody is like both, which is very funny because he's like very much corporate guy, but then he's also like, stop getting involved in my creative, and it's like,
Yeah, Cody's been screwed over more than anybody on it for being truthful about this. I mean, not when it comes to he's still with the company, but as far as like TKO just poking their nose into what he's been doing. No one's been screwed over creatively more than Cody.
But the thing is, they're probably like, here's an extra 0 on your check and an extra decker on your bus. And he's like, oh, son of a bitch, I'm in. And then that's it. Yes, sir, may I have another? I don't know. But Cody would be one of them, but it'd be the most confusing, as most Cody things are, kind of corporate story of all time. He'd find a way to babyface it, and we'd all be very confused.
I'd actually like it if it was. I think the Miz is actually a good shout here because the Miz can make most things work, but he just starts becoming uber heel and he just basically acts as like Ari Emanuel going around. He's like, why do we have Joe Hendry when we have Danhausen? We don't need 2 of these guys around here. One can go.
Danhausen starts picking up a guitar and singing a song. Joe Hendry starts wearing face paint. It's a one-upsmanship game to figure out who's the better meme wrestler. Let's go.
He goes around, he goes to people, and like he becomes the GM effectively. And because we love a good GM power struggle storyline, right, Joel?
Oh, yeah.
TNA, 100. You love that
stuff.
Oh,
God, yes. Suat all the way. Yep.
So he becomes like the GM of WWE, not just Raw or SmackDown or NXT. Like he's like the GM of all of WWE. So he just undercuts Pierce and Aldis and Robert Stone at every turn.
The idea that he is above them and
Yeah.
like there's a chart and everything. Oh, that sounds awful, and I need to see it.
Yeah, the Miz is like the top person in the whole thing, and then like but then here's where it really gets stupid but interesting quotes. This is where Triple H then inserts his power, because this is the only time he can like actually overrule Ari, because he ain't actually doing it behind the scenes, but like on screen he can like overrule the Miz and be like really mad at the Miz, and that's him like on television swinging cock of like, see, I'm actually in charge around here, when we all know it's not true.
But there's only one person, one thing that can overrule all of these people. What is the anonymous Raw ChatGPT general manager saying? You know what? Come to think of it, the anonymous Raw general manager, that would be perfect today, because it would just be ChatGPT. And Michael Cole would have to read ChatGPT, and it would be like, the anonymous Raw general GPT says blah blah blah, whatever the story is going to be. They need to bring back the anonymous Raw general manager only for this bit. Come on, if you're going to play in our faces, you may as well have fun with it, right? 10 was adding in Motor City Machine Guns and Creed and Kofi and AEW all in will be great. Listen, man, if that's where both teams land, and this is a place where that's starting to re-energize their tag team divisions, yeah, absolutely. Could see both teams doing really well. I made the joke before. I mean, I could see Motor City Machine Guns doing stuff with MLP because they are Scott boys, they are D'Amore boys, and Creed and Kofi have all the opportunities to not take bumps and go wherever they want. It's entirely up to them and their bodies where they want to go and what they want to do next.
I hope Creed and Kofi just... I love the idea that they're just not going to take bumps anywhere. Like, nah, we've already done that shit. Like, we just want to come here and play video games.
Could you imagine they take over the AEW Games channel? It's no longer Uno and Cole.
I imagine that they would. I mean, Uno and Cole would still be part of it, but
I mean, Cole, Uno, and
knock
Creed,
on.
It would just be the three of them.
Yeah. No knock on Cole and Uno, but this is where Creed, his value extends beyond what you see on television. That dude built a YouTube channel to get over 1 million followers just on his own, to the point that WWE wanted the YouTube channel and was like, hey, we actually want this whole thing. Like, Creed is very, very good at all of this outside stuff, and that's going to be invaluable to a company like AEW, because yeah, they have the games channel, and I mean, I guess it does well. I don't know. I've lost so many times that, or so much time that like I don't have time to watch that stuff like I used to. But you put Creed in there, and it's a different ball game, because unfortunately Cole is not on television right now. Uno is not on television.
Neither is Uno. Yeah.
Yeah. MXM, they're kind of on television, but they're not really on television. Like, Creed's gonna do this stuff, and he's gonna actually be on TV, and he's gonna go out. Like, Uno doesn't do a ton of media, like, because he's not on TV. Cole's not doing media because of everything. Getting MXM, that we'd love them on our show, but they're not like doing major media and stuff. Creed's he's gonna be out there doing media on all of this stuff as well. Like, he's got so many connections that I don't think a lot of people, I think most of everybody listening here understands, but maybe you don't. Like, there's just so much that happens off screen, and how many people know all certain people. Like, Creed knows people to like get stuff done, and that's just going to be invaluable stuff if he does go to AEW.
I just tweeted out, does this mean I can invite Austin Creed to the show in 3 months so that he and I can play bass together on the air?
Yeah, I mean,
that's all I want.
Yeah,
that's all I want. Yeah. Let him know. I want Joe Gacy so that we can do the mimes in the mirror thing, and I want Austin Creed. I want Creed so that he and I can play bass on stream together. It'll be obnoxious and fun and everything you want. It could be a good time. Creed has stroke. Tenriza saying the new AEW game got to be good with them there. I mean, they're not the ones making the game. It's not like they show up and suddenly they're like, well, first you got to do this, and then you got to change this engine. And then, by the way, they're not the ones doing it. But them in the game would be a lot of fun if a new game comes out and it's hopefully made by a reputable, not that the last one wasn't made by a reputable company, as long as it fits and it's a fun game. That's all I care about. Ain't nobody playing Fight Forever these days.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny's there, and I don't think Kenny wanted to like half-ass that game, but there's just more that goes into it than the wrestler has really cool ideas for the games. Like it is not that simple with everything. I mean, like, Creed got the GM mode into 2K with everything, so there's at least that, but yeah, it's not as easy as just like, hey, the game's going to be good because now Creed's there. Like, Creed ain't working on it like that. He can give ideas and stuff, but he ain't writing code for that thing.
Turns out he's a prolific video game designer and nobody.
I mean, maybe he is. Like, I don't doubt what Creed does. Like, he's got a PhD. That dude's a genius. So
he's very smart.
I mean, he doesn't know shit about birthing twins, but he's a genius otherwise.
They should go. Oh, they're gonna reprise that if they go to AEW.
I don't think they are. Not without Big E. I don't think they are.
Are there any twins? I mean, Austin and Colton being brothers might be enough for them to try. A BTE sketch.
That's something they will 100% do. They'll do BTE stuff with like the Bucks and Kenny and everything. I don't think they're gonna do. I mean, AEW has their podcast network thing now, or it's coming anyway. But I don't think they're gonna do like. I don't think they want to. Honestly, I don't think they want to like bring it back without Big E and do. Maybe they do. I don't want to like fully speak for them, but my sense in listening to them talk about this stuff is that it had its moment in time after the split and during the pandemic and after everything went down. Like it wouldn't work after that, and I don't want to do another form of that in that way. So I could see, Woods is still going to do the gaming stuff and still have fun in that sense with everything, and he'll continue to get jokes off on that. So
very much looking forward to our upcoming debut one day.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Right. Let's get one more super chat. It's concerning if Io or Asuka goes. Asuka has been in this business for a very long time. It feels like if Asuka goes, it's retirement for her or coaching for her. I'm not too worried about Asuka. If you ever watch any of her channel, she was like building a gaming room in her house from the ground up in Japan and going to these lavish places. Like she's fine. From a financial standpoint, she is fine. For Io, I mean, listen, if she is in fact Paul Levesque's favorite, woman wrestler who's not named Rhea Ripley, then it would be telling if Io decides to walk. That would be a different situation.
I don't think. Well, it's depending on who you ask. It's not Triple H's decision on this stuff, but yeah, it would be telling if either of them left. I don't see that happening, but I wouldn't have sold New Day leaving. I don't think Asuka or Io is gonna be, when they do these round of cuts, they're gonna be at like the top of the list or anything. But who knows at this point? Who the hell knows?
Yeah, exactly. Joel said Io's broke. This is the pancakes and waffles conversations, you jerk. I did not say that. Oh, man. But we got a whole lot of conversation coming out of that. Tenor is also adding happy 2 year to the release of Not Like Us. Well, next week, unfortunately, you have to listen to the new Drake album. So good luck with you.
Now you have to listen to the new Drake
I gotta do shit, pal.
It's content, Joel.
Yeah, well, there's content There's time for content and there's time for not that.
What if the chat votes on it, like we did with the
No, I don't
Joe
trust the
Hendry?
chat to do shit. I don't trust this chat for anything. This chat are
You're gonna deny the chat?
No, because they're just like us, a bunch of trolls at best.
Yes, they're gonna vote yes because they know it's good content. You listening to the new Drake album?
Troll ass mother. No, stop it. Stop it. Let's vote. They're saying they want to because they know how they want to vote. You people are monsters. You people won't let me have my fun. My fun being not giving you what you want.
You're such a heel. This is why the chat doesn't like you. You heel on them all the time.
Is this why people are trying to get Steve Macklin to beat me up in Canada?
Probably.
Ryan Lambert's out here trying to book me versus Macklin in a Canadian indie.
Oh, I gotta do a bit tomorrow because the Cavaliers actually won. It looked like they were gonna win a lot easier, but I gotta take a blow dryer to the face tomorrow.
Jesus.
Mike Tyson blow dryer to the face. Nah, I'm not like getting hit with it, but like I gotta get, blasted with the blow dryer because that's a bit like the Cavaliers do. So I gotta do that bit tomorrow. I'll do it with the SP3 since he knows ball, and Joel thought Jaylen Brown played for the Knicks at one point.
Got it. He plays for the Clippers. Well, eventually, I mean, I got 30 more teams to go through. One of them's going to be right?
He's only played for one team in his career.
Yeah, and I'm going to guess all of them.
Okay.
Oh man. Anyway, let's what's next? Should we talk about Collision for a few minutes? Unless you have anything else. Unless you have other things you want to talk about when it comes to
we can talk about Collision.
Oh, actually, sorry, before we do that, the John Cena news. John Cena has the arena announced and then John Cena confirmed this morning per John Cena that he will be at Backlash this Saturday. The first hour is going to be on ESPN. That's fun. But John Cena is going to be announcing something. He says he's going to break some history-making news. So get ready for Club WWE pricing to be unleashed.
Yeah, it's a Club WWE thing. Like he kind of teased that beforehand. And like his initial tweet was like, I'm going to do something special in Tampa for Club WWE. And like that wasn't clear that he was going to be at Backlash. Like he could have just, I don't know, made some announcement before Backlash or the day of or whatever. And then the arena announced like he's going to actually be on the show. And then, yes, he announced that he's going to be on the show. But it's going to be some Club WWE thing. I have no idea what. I'm not getting my hopes up on this. I hope he just comes out and says it's a new era. And here's Club WWE, and that's it. There's no details.
Fine by me. He's gonna come out and throw patches, and you get a 5% discount if you sign up tonight. That's it.
We didn't talk too much about Tongaloa and JC Mateo. I did mention Tongaloa and how I think Collision should be built around him. I need 15-minute Tongaloa matches every single week on national television, just to pop me. The JC Mateo stuff, like, isn't surprising, I guess, because they never do a whole lot. Yeah. The Solo and the Sokoas was a dead on arrival type thing, because like, oh, you're just trying to be Bloodline 2.0, although now it's Bloodline all over again in WWE. It's Bloodline 3.0 in every single main event segment. But they could have done a whole lot more with him. Like they just kind of used him to be part of the group, and then he was losing on like his first match anyway. I don't know what Jeff Cobb wants to do. Look, if he wants to go back to New Japan, United Empire is cooking right now, with Newman being the champion and bossing Will Ospreay around and treating him like a little bitch, and Andrade being there as well, and he's a champion too.
Hold on, Colin just wants answers. He's trying to hold Will accountable. Calm down. It's okay.
He wants answers. He made him decapitate Shingo for no reason. He already beat Shingo. No, he's bossing him around like a little bitch.
No, he just wants his friend to answer for what he's doing over in AEW. He just wants to know what are you doing with those Death Riders, bro. That's all. That's okay.
This ain't give me some answers. This is you're gonna listen to me, or
Who do
we're
you
gonna have
love?
some problems.
Who do you love? It
So
rules.
can Cobb go back to New Japan with the way he left? I don't know. I feel like no bridge is like really burnt with New Japan. I mean, I could be completely wrong on that, but did he leave in like a bad way? Honestly, because like they put the title on him beforehand. It seemed like he gave them enough notice. I know he did the whole like worked shoot, don't believe the reports, and then reports turned out to be true. I know he did all of that, but I don't feel like he left in any type of like poor way. It seemed like it was, hey, I'm leaving. Here's when I'm leaving. Let's do this work shoot thing. I'll drop the titles. Everything will be good. And that was kind of that. He did drop the titles, right? Maybe I'm completely misremembering. I do remember the work shoot
Sure
stuff of
did.
like, I'm not leaving. Then he left.
Someone saying he tanked an entire pay-per-view build for them.
That's funny though.
I mean, this was at a time, and I guess if SP3 is in the chat, he can correct me if I'm wrong. New Japan wasn't exactly its hottest at this point when Jeff.
Yeah, they did win the titles, him and Newman, and then he just
he FO'd.
he pieced
That's
out.
when they all left. That's when they were all
Yeah.
leaving. That's right. So, listen, time heals all wounds, and maybe Jeff will be back. I don't know, but like you said, he was never given that opportunity when he came over to WWE. They stuck him with the Sokoas, and he was always the guy that everyone's like, he's not family. He has literally no relation to these people, and it just didn't fit. They didn't give him anything more than. Did he have a singles match on TV?
Yeah, he had a couple.
He had two. Yeah, he had 2 or 3. But other than that, it was just kind of whatever. It was just whatever is exactly it. So they never really got off with him, and he just didn't fit whatever WWE and TKO wanted. So it sucks, but just like Motor City Machine Guns, this was one of those situations where you've been in wrestling for so long, you almost have to, when the time comes, just take that opportunity, because you don't know when it's going to come again. And again, you grow up as a kid coming up in the business wondering, like, what could WWE be like? What could it be like? Because I watched it, all the way up. You got to try. And if it doesn't fit, well, again, he could have walked away. We don't know what the situation was, if it was a release or just a flat out, we're walking out. So
It's when it comes to Cobb, he was in a tough spot because he's too good of a wrestler for WWE. Like, they don't value what he kind of does. They kind of wanted him to be like an enforcer, but he's just a smaller stature. And so he doesn't fit like the enforcer role. Because like he's smaller than Solo. And so they're looking at it of like, how's this dude the enforcer for Solo when he's smaller than Solo? And then they brought in Tama and Tonga and Tala, and all these dudes are bigger than Cobb as well. So it's like, well, these guys look like they're more of the enforcer than Cobb is. Putting him in that group would have made some sense if they actually defined like what his role was there, but they wanted to define his role as, again, an enforcer, but he didn't fit the bill of the enforcer because he was smaller than the dude he was enforcing, and it's still an aesthetic business, especially for WWE, and they could not get past that aesthetic of this dude's kind of small.
all I'm saying is congratulations to new AEW national champion Jeff Cobb. Or when Lucha Underground starts up, welcome back to Matanza.
I mean, I hope so. He ruled in Lucha Underground. SP3 and I talked about that the other day, of how much Matanza absolutely ruled. So I don't know if he goes to AEW. I don't know how Tony likes him. Tony brought him in for a couple of spots. I remember when he brought him in the first time, when he was like Jericho's enforcer. I was on my ill-fated trip to Colorado, and I was high as hell, because that's what you do in Colorado. And I thought I was like having just a major hallucination. I was texting my friends. I was like, is Jeff Cobb really on AEW television right now? Like, I'm really stoned and I don't believe what I'm actually watching on TV. And they had to confirm with me that it was Jeff Cobb on television. Oh, and then he brought him in a couple times after that. I don't know where Jeff Cobb like fully fits in AEW. They'll have a spot for him, but they're also bringing in like so many different guys. You don't want to continue to bring in. You don't want to continue to bring in guys, and then other guys got to get bumped down or moved around and stuff. Unless it is a game-changing type person. Like I say this, and then of course I'm advocating for AEW to bring in New Day. New Day very much game-changing type people. Jeff Cobb's like a good person to have, but he's the ops would be a nice fit for him. I could actually see that is working out okay.
They bring in Jeff Cobb, but instead they make him change his name to Jeff Cop with 2 P's, and he is part of the cops. He is the cops of the ops. I've been sitting on that one because someone else said it earlier. You get it? Because you take the B's, you make them B's. They just...
So the Toronto Raptors fought really hard in their playoff series against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Jeff Cobb should become Time Cop, but it should be Time Cobb. God, I'm funny. Anyway, you can all go to hell. You don't understand comedy. It's not even that funny. Tenriza says Levesque will introduce Cena. Also, Andrade is him. No, I thought that Mello was him. I guess I'm wrong. Levesque will
that Andrade, and I'm sure you didn't watch it, but that Andrade, what?
Seen clips so far.
Okay,
I will go and watch it later. It's a little busy, Got to do things with my kid and all that.
I don't want to hear it. That Andrade and Tsuji match ruled. I've not watched day 2 yet. I do plan on getting to that this afternoon. Because I know SP3 and I are going to talk about it tomorrow. But I did watch day 1. And is there anything on day 2 that's better than Andrade and Tsuji? Because I love this match because it felt like a fight, and I love that kind of stuff. People know that I just like Charlotte and Tiffany because it was just messy in sort of the best ways. And that's how this match felt, but it wasn't, supposed to be, it wasn't as messy as Charlotte and Tiffany, but it was messy, but a good kind of, everything felt like a struggle. And that's very lost in wrestling nowadays, where everything just feels like, let's do this cool looking sequence to pop the crowd. This was slow, but I didn't mind how actually slow. It's 30 minutes. It's at least over a half hour, I'm pretty sure. And usually I hate matches that are longer than a half hour, and they feel very long. But I don't know, something about this match was just really captivating to me. And again, I think it's because it just felt like so much of a struggle. And I appreciated that instead of just let's hit this clean looking move and this clean looking move. So yeah, shout out to Andrade and Tsuji. That match ruled. Somebody let me know if anything's better on night 2. I'm going to watch it regardless, but I do want to see if anything is better than from night 2 than that.
Maybe the junior tag?
Yeah, I figure Callum and Shingo is really good. The junior tag looked good on paper. The never open weight had good talent in there. I don't know how much time these matches got though, because I've not dove deep into that. I know who wins, but I haven't checked times and everything like that. So I at least want to watch that portion blind, even though I do know who wins all of these matches. But those are the 3 from today that I'm gonna watch. I did see the post match angle, and I did see Sonata returning. So I more or less know what happened from night 2. I just haven't seen any of the matches yet.
Sonata looked good. Got that big blonde hair running. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, just I'm taking a look at the match times, and you'll probably be okay with what you want to watch here.
I'm gonna watch the top matches. I'm gonna watch the I'm gonna watch the title matches because they got to do 1,300 title changes.
Well, there's some funny things that you'll be talking about tomorrow. Is there anything else from WWE World that we get to? We talked about all the releases. We got to that. We talked about parts of SmackDown. Talked about John Cena. I think we got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tenders is saying people need to not complain. Just watch Collision. I mean, no.
Who's complain? Do people complain about Collision? I think people just like they watch Collision and
it's the most. Here's a wrestling show that you've got, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Like it is the most Joel. Like this episode was probably the most Joel Pearl fine. Like there were some really good matches. There were some not so good matches. There were some storylines that were continued on. There was Renee without a voice still. Why didn't you find someone to replace her for the night? I don't know, but clearly that was taped on Wednesday. But anyway, the point being, like it was fine. It was a good live show. And I thought it was a perfectly good episode.
Jack Perry, we I don't know if we got beef with Jack or not, but I'm still a Jack
don't.
Off.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't.
still a Jack
fine.
Off.
We don't have a problem with Jack.
So Jack Perry had the best match on the show, as you would expect, because he's the GOAT. He has a literal mask to prove that. And the 10-man was 10-man tag, not like 10-man who doesn't have a brain, right? The 10-man didn't have a brain?
I think 10-man wanted a heart.
He didn't have a heart. Okay.
Oh, no,
who didn't have a brain?
Yeah, he wanted a brain. What Straw Man? What did Straw Guy want?
I don't remember.
Oh God, there was brain, heart, and courage.
Backbone,
Lion wanted
right?
courage.
Yeah.
Lion wanted courage. Straw Man wanted a brain. And then Tin Man wanted a heart.
10-man wanted a heart?
Because the heart was already in him. I mean, they already had the things. So this is Wizard of Oz for those who have never seen the 1934.
No, we should have just kept this. We should have kept this bit going without explaining that what the show was. Movie. Okay, Scarecrow wanted a brain.
Okay, so yeah, so Tin Man wanted the hearts.
Okay, 10-man wanted the heart.
And Lion wanted courage.
Yeah, Lion wanted the courage.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got it. Yeah.
All right.
Did you ever watch Dark Side of the Moon?
So the 10-man was good. The guy with no heart was good to open the show. And I thought Jack Perry and Dorada was really good. And Bang Bang Gang and Death Riders was fun. It was good to see the Guns back, and now that group is hopefully going to be more whole with Jay White coming back, because we're getting Juice and John on Wednesday, I believe.
Yep, tournament. It's an eliminator match.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I feel like they had a really, really good match in New Japan a while ago, like when Moxley was on his initial run over with like the US title. Yeah, when Moxley had just left WWE and went to New Japan. They had a couple of really good matches in New Japan. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do now. Like, I don't know if they'll be quite as good as the New Japan matches, but it should hopefully still be good. I'm sure Tony has seen those matches and was like, hey, let's do that on television. So those will be fun. Yeah, the Guns are back. Hopefully Jay White's back soon. And they might gotta just like they might gotta let Hook off the hook. Just stand there and look pretty.
That's fine. I mean, they brought back Mimosa Joe, and basically he said, all right, I'm back. Recruiting's on me now. And that was it. Hook is just back to eating chips and, walking around.
Yeah, that's all I need out of Hook. I definitely don't need him doing like 12-minute matches or however. This match felt way too long. Like I don't even think it was that long. And I ain't putting blame on Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight has a bunch of bangers. Hook just There's just not a connection there. Like something ain't clicking with him.
By the way, going back to Juice and Mox, did you know that this is their second title eliminator match that they've had together?
Okay.
Their first one was a world title eliminator in 22 when Moxley
I don't remember
was
that match at all.
That it happened on Dynamite. It was September 28th, and obviously John Moxley defeats Juice Robinson at the Lycura Center in Philly.
Oh,
what else happened on that show? Just out of curiosity, ROH World Title match: Chris Jericho defeats Bandito. Ricky Starks defeats Eli Isom in 51 seconds. Toni Storm defeats Serena Deeb in a women's world title lumberjack match.
No one cares.
And then Bryan Danielson defeats Matt Menard in 8 minutes and 36 seconds.
That was a match where Danielson was like super sick. I remember him telling that story. Yeah. He's like, that was the like one time like he didn't wrestle, or he felt he couldn't wrestle, and Tony bullied him into wrestling that night. And Danielson
must have been in really sore need of a person on the show.
Yeah, Danielson, he told this story. He's like, I like wasn't feeling well, and I wasn't sure I could wrestle. And Tony comes to me, he's like, "Hey, how you feeling? Are you good to wrestle tonight?" And I was just like, I don't really know. Like, I'm not feeling my best. And Tony's like, "Oh, okay. I could really use you tonight. Like, I get this great match for you against Matt Menard." And Brian's like, I could tell he really wanted me to wrestle. So I was like, okay, I'll wrestle. I went out there. He's like, I had a really fun match with Matt, and I thought it was a really great match, and I'm glad I did it, type of thing. But it really sounded like he did not want to wrestle at all, and Tony just bullied him into wrestling.
he just gaslit him. He was just like, I had this one match I wanted to do with Matt Menard.
Yeah, it's
good.
It's so dumb too, because it's a match against Matt Menard. No offense to Daddy Magic or anything, but like, I don't think this match was that important to the show that they couldn't have figured something else out over here.
Other, they needed the star power. They had Ricky Starks on the show. Ricky never worked the show in 22. Something was going on in the water at that point. People were sick. It wasn't just Brian. Some other people said no. TK's like, pretty please.
That's the only thing I remember from that show is Bryan Danielson's story about that show. That's it.
That's how good that episode was. By the way, that Danielson match, cage match, 4.64.
Well, Bryan Danielson loved it. That's all that matters.
Guess so. Anyway, I do like that they continued on the Mina and Harley and Chris Statlander and Sheeta stuff from last week. They're continuing on with the story. What do you think of the Chris Statlander slamming Sheeta up against the wall that got people all hot and bothered?
I was about to say, I assume that became like a thing. Right?
Yes. People were like, I wish that were me.
Yeah.
I don't mind that this continues. I do mind that they let Renee out there from Wednesday with no voice work the show. I just would have been like, get me Marvez, get me anybody. Not bad for Renee. She's clearly not well.
Yeah. And that angle was I'm not super interested in in that, honestly.
I've decided the who shot Toni Storm. I've decided the answer is going to be all of them, because they were all so sick and tired of her shit.
Turns.
They all just took turns beating her up, and it turns out that like she's in storyline, she's gonna be this total pariah. They hate her so much, and then you know what? There's only one person who can come back and make the save for her, and that is Britt Baker, because she knows what it's like.
Oh God,
she understands the plight of the pariahs, and so Tony and Dr. Britt Baker DMD, they form a new tag team. I'm almost getting through this, I promise. And they call it Storm Baker, not Stormbreaker, Storm Baker. And they win the women's tag titles, and that's how you continue on. Everybody hates her. And then the woman who was hated the most, she understands. And then we start the redemption of Toni Storm.
You've had so many bad ideas and bad jokes and just bad commentary today that was not your worst.
It may have been my best.
Yeah, that
That's
says a lot. That says a lot.
Brother, I hate main channel Monday. Everything has to be on point. No, this show gets what exactly it deserves. Storm Baker.
Yeah, I heard you the first time. We all got it the first time, Joel. Maybe Storm Baker can team with Jeff Kopp.
Oh man, nobody likes this more than I do. Oh goddamn. Anna Jay's back. She had a match. She lost. Willow Nightingale. I'm not high, I promise. Willow Nightingale.
At least that'd be an excuse.
Yeah, it's not an excuse. I just haven't done this so much. I haven't done the show in a while.
You've taken off like 2 days.
That's right. I haven't been on since Wednesday.
And now all of a sudden you forgot how to do it and everything.
Yeah, I
Jesus,
completely forgot how to host the show.
That's not good.
It was a weekend in the middle of this. It wasn't like I missed one show. Just a whole last week.
That's still not good. I at least did drugs before coming on air, so I got a sort of an excuse.
Can confirm. That's true. You and your pudding.
Yeah, okay. Nobody's gonna clip this show, but I took Dayquil, everybody. I took Dayquil because I was not feeling well. Somehow I feel better because I have to get through this show with Joel and I can't like completely lose it. I have to hold it together.
Oh, you'll be fine. Don't you worry. Anyway, Anna Jay, she comes back. She loses to Willow. But really the more important part is Willow continues to beat up women who are coming back to the ring. That's fine.
Yeah. This was a Joel Pearl fine match in every sense of the word.
Longer than I thought it would be, but good for them.
I figured they would give her some time. Yeah, this Willow run is just like, hey, let's beat it. Like, I assume maybe it's setting up for Mercedes coming back since she hasn't been around for 5 months now.
But again, she's coming to scalp people, not go after the TBS title. She should be going, I don't know.
People forgot what she was coming back for.
I know, that's the problem.
And this Willow run is not inspiring a whole lot of confidence out here. It's like, hey, beat a bunch of people that you maybe cared about 3 years ago.
You know what? I like this idea. Mercedes comes back. She also loses to Willow, goes even crazier, tries to scalp Willow. Now I'm adding my own 2 cents, and that's how she keeps going. Now she gets scalped. She's like, better than titles, scalps.
Okay, I mean, at least that's logical from what she said earlier, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, she's a full-on Anthony Hopkins heel. Sir Anthony Hopkins from the film Silence of the Lambs. Hello, Clarice.
What else is he in?
You know, I can't remember off the top of my head. I am not a film buff. It used to be. Now, nah. Now it's all wrestling and childcare. Anyway, what else? Is there anything else from Collision that we desperately have to tack on? They're doing the Fairway to Hell is going to have a national title rematch between Jack Perry and Mark Davis.
That's a weird match.
It was weird because they showed the bus, and in the bus he had the daggers through the 2 people he's already beaten. One of whom was, guess who? Mark Davis. I understand, and I know for a fact because I was there. The match at Dynasty in the 0 Hour was a lot of fun. It was a great match. To redo it was a little strange.
I feel like Davis is going to win, and that's why we're redoing it. Because it doesn't make sense to just beat Mark Davis again, especially after... it doesn't make sense to beat Mark Davis again, especially after they just had him beat Will Ospreay like that. So
national tour. Wait, does Davis get the bus?
Sure.
I would give Mark Davis the bus. Come on, everybody, we're gonna go on a national tour. And then all the Aussies get in there too, and they're just like, where are we going first? I don't know, but we're going backwards.
Joel's battling like the Toronto Raptors here today, folks. He's battling. Ultimately, he's going to lose, and I don't even know how he made it 7 games. He felt like he got swept today, but he's battling.
Someone asking, am I okay? Absolutely not.
No, he's not.
Anyway, Mark Davis winning could be the play. But again, I question what we do with Jack Perry next and what
He's
the
going
point
for
of
the world title, obviously.
Okay, that's fine.
He's going to win the Owen.
He's going to go after Kevin Knight, go after the TNT title.
No, he's gonna win the Owen. He's gonna headline All In against Darby Allin. Jack Perry and Darby Allin. Battle of the 2 pillars, the most important pillars in AEW.
Right. And finally, our pal Nixie got a boot to the face from Sky Blue, lost the match.
Who is our pal? I don't know who this is.
Oh, I do. Met her last year in Vegas. She's very sweet.
Okay.
I like Nixie. She's very nice. I know Sean. I know Sean likes to bury her, but I'll speak nicely of her. She got beat and she should have won. She was the larger competitor. Don't let Sky Blue mess you around. What's wrong with you, Nixie? You could do this better. Can't believe you lost. Ugh.
Okay. I mean, like, I've never talked to her, so she seems very nice from everything I've seen. I know Sean and her joke around and stuff. I've never talked to her though, so.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, she's really good. And yes, I guess on Friday, the news kind of broke later after your show with Revel and her diagnosis with ALS. Yeah. Obviously, like the entire world, not just in wrestling, we send her our best. And it's this weird catharsis in that video that it seems she has, where she's almost come to terms with it while also getting the answers that she needed. It's a scary time for her, and I know she's got a lot of people around her and surrounding her, giving her support. But again, it sucks, and no one should ever have to live with something like ALS. And it's good to have support. That's all I can say. So we send our best to her and to everyone around her who's affected, because it's a shitty thing to have to live with.
Yeah. Best wishes to Rebel. It was good to see a lot of people come together. AEW, and I mentioned it on Collision. I saw articles on like People and other like mainstream outlets talking about it. So it's kind of gone beyond the wrestling world, and it's good to see everyone come together to support Rebel, and hopefully she's just doing the best she can.
Yeah, she did mention that Tony and AEW have been there for her throughout, and that is something that we've talked about on and off, is that when someone is affected by an illness or an injury, that is something that the company does continue to do. So it was nice to hear not just those words from her, but also on the show, Tony Schiavone also making reference to Rebel's fight. So listen, it's going to be a tough going for her, but just like we've seen, as long as there are people surrounding you and supporting you, there is a chance to live comfortably. And that's the best you can ask for right now.
Yeah.
Did you see the Team Playoff stuff from Saturday?
Yeah.
The contract signing. So real quick, the Grandes Americano had their contract signings. A few things pop out at me. So by the end of it, the Creeds come into the ring and they beat up Kaiser Americano. And there's a whole setup to this, and we'll get to that in a minute. You've got Rayo and Bravo coming in with the hoods, and you're pretending like you don't know who they are. You had the opportunity to do this with the Creeds and make it very obvious who they are, but instead they just brought them in suits. Is it because they thought maybe there was going to be it was going to babyface Gable Americano? Or do they just not care about the Creeds and they're just like, go in there and beat them up for heat?
No, I don't think they thought they were going to babyface Gable at all, especially in Mexico. I mean, in US they probably thought they were. I think it was just go beat up Ludwig and just get the heat. The fans aren't dumb.
Well,
Hey Drake, they're not slow. Like, everyone knows it's Chad Gable, and everyone knows the attachment to the creeds. Like, why are you gonna like put him under a mask or whatever? And do they unmask, or they just do Ryo and Bravo and not unmask as well? Like, do they just continue? Are they? But like, we all assume Gable's losing his mask.
I hope so.
Yeah, so there's no point in putting like the creeds under a mask when Gable's probably gonna lose his, and then they would just have to unmask. So no, I didn't think anything of like them not having masks on. I was like, oh, cool, the creeds. I'm glad they're still around.
I just figured you'd give them a mask for a couple of weeks and let them have at it.
No,
I think it'd be very entertaining because it's silly, it's stupid, it's wrestling, and at least then the creeds it matches up the aesthetic of the Americanos.
It's then it feels like too much though. Like, because you already have Ryo and
It's Lucha
Bravo.
Libre. It's already too much.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, let's do all these people with masks. Like, I kind of like the aesthetic of they don't have the mask while Gable does, because Gable's gonna lose it in a couple of weeks anyway. So it wouldn't be that impactful anyway. Just have him go no mask. I thought this was good. I thought this was exactly what it needed to be.
It was fine. It was good. It was just I was like, why didn't you put them under a hood? Rey Mysterio having to
They do that enough. They already do enough dumbass
more masks.
putting people under hoods and masks and stuff.
Yes,
Stop it.
More phone calls, more masks.
No.
Yes, everyone. Why didn't the creeds come in wearing masks and talking on the phone at the same time? Why didn't they do this?
Stop.
With very bright suits on. That's all that matters. Very bright red and blue suits. I thought it was really good. Rey Mysterio having to do the real time translation for the guy in the ring who was shaking like a leaf as he was holding the contract that Gable gave to him. It was very funny. But
he was in the presence of El Grande Americano. I'd be shaking like a leaf too.
There were two of them. Was he extra
nervous?
Yeah,
but the Kaiser is that's a star right there. It's the biggest star in Mexico.
I guess, but it was Gable who was giving him the papers.
But the Americano 2 was there though, so he was still worried.
Well, either way. So what is the stipulation? They cannot touch until May 31st when their match is happening, and if they
30th.
do, May 30th, and 31st is the pay-per-view, isn't it? That's this Clash.
Is it? That sucks.
Anyway, and if they do touch before then Kaiser loses his mask automatically. That is the story. And then afterwards, what's the deal with the ring announcer, the woman in the story?
She has to leave. She had to leave for assaulting Gable,
as one does. So they are now a love interest, Kaiser and this woman on the story. It's a very baby-facing Kaiser story. It's amazing.
Yeah, because he's the babyface.
No, I know. They've been really doing a good job at baby-facing Kaiser out of this. It's been a very strange turn that they had to make out of this whole thing. But you know what?
It's not. It's not a strange turn. This is what they've always been doing in Mexico. In America, it's got screwed up because Triple H doesn't know what he's doing.
Yes. Yeah. It's very funny to watch. But man, it was a good episode. If you go out and watch it, there was a match between Laredo Kid and Rey Fenix that was very good. Looks like that's going to be run back another time. And the opening match was Vikingo and Mini Vikingo. That was a long one. I expected it to be a little shorter, but no, they went long. And Mini Vikingo, I think, got the win. And that was the whole thing.
How long is long?
I don't know. It's more than 7 minutes.
Oh, okay. But both matches were more than 7 minutes, I'm pretty sure. Because this whole show was just... It was these two matches and the contract thing. I don't think anything else really happened. I think they did some video packages, but there was nothing like major on this show. Mini Vikingo just be doing shit, man. Bless that dude.
It's wild.
He did like the friggin' tornado. I don't even know how to do this. Corkscrew is the word I was looking for. He did the corkscrew plancha, reverse DDT. And I was like, what? And he hit him with a what the fuck right there. Yeah, and then it looked like Vikingo might have been hurt. He was kind of clutching his shoulder. He put on Instagram his shoulder was like wrapped and stuff. Hopefully he's okay. He's supposed to have a match against Wagner on May 30th. So hopefully he's okay for that. But I was very surprising that Mini Vikingo won because I think everyone just assumed Vikingo was going to win. He's the heel. He's going to get the heat. He's going to move on to the title match against Wagner. And they went full board. Like, great pop with Mini Vikingo winning. AAA is the promotion of the year right now. Big bad Mark Calloway, Booker of the Year.
The Undertaker's promotion, as we are now calling it.
Yeah, he's the one booking it.
Yep, down in the Undertaker's territory with 24-year-old Ludwig Kaiser. Can't believe it.
24-year-old Englishman playing a luchador.
Can't imagine. 10 Resistance and Super Chat saying Kota Ibushi's crazy man. He's out here bumping. Yes, he posted on his Instagram that he did a standing moonsault, standing flip onto the mats. Good for him, man. Hopefully he's doing well, and hopefully he's recovering as comfortably as possible.
Yeah.
He's gonna be it all in a giant ass ladder match. You just know it. Oh man. Anything else from the weekend before we preview Raw and get out of here?
No. What was your moment of the weekend, Joel?
My moment of the weekend. I got to think about this. My moment of the weekend was actually discovering that the New Day were departing WWE. I think it showed a lot in how they value themselves, and it also shows a lot in the opportunities that they are going to create moving forward. So kudos to them. I hope that they find success wherever they land, whether that's landing on a wrestling ring or if it's landing in some sort of role outside of wrestling.
My moment of the weekend was Andrade and Yota Tsuji from night 1 of Sakura Genesis. Since technically that took place on a Sunday and not Monday, and I haven't seen night 2 yet. But this match was the best match of the weekend for me, and one of my favorite matches of the year, believe it or not, despite the fact that it was over 30 minutes. And I hate every single wrestling match that is over 18 minutes. So this match was that good to where I like this match. Oh, Dentaku. Sorry, what did I say? Genesis? Sorry. Wrestling Dentaku. I haven't slept. Wrestling Dentaku. My fault.
Louis pointing out Spirit Air's gone under. It's official. They're done. Independent wrestlers everywhere are cheering happily. They don't have to get booked on Spirit. But I'm sure some promoters somewhere are finding cheaper ways to book the talent. Oh, man. What did we accomplish?
What did we accomplish today?
I am very funny. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they are lying to you. Bald face and everything. Also, if you kick a gingerbread man in the nuts, it's not funny. It's just not funny. Normally you can get it from me, but not from that one. And finally, just like the Toronto Raptors, we fought back from our deficit and came up just a little short in the end. Also, wrestling happened this weekend, but don't ask me what happened. I don't know.
The biggest thing we accomplished today is that Joel should run from the grind more, because when he is here, things are just off the
amazing.
rails.
That's right.
Off the rails.
Results of our poll. Oh, wait.
Well, I was going to have a poll question, but you shut it down because you were a coward and you decided to give the results, or you were not going to honor the results.
Yeah,
so
more like it. I would give the results, I just wouldn't honor them.
Yeah, you weren't going to honor the results of our poll question. So that's why we didn't have a poll question today, because Joel was a coward.
Oh, that's right. Someone's saying good hair day. I washed my hair this morning, so I guess I got that going for me. I gotta get a haircut sooner than later. I don't know when. My birthday is coming up in a month, so we'll get there. Monday Night Raw is tonight, Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah, you should have remembered that, because at the end of last week's episode, you did have what's his face, Jacob Fatu, telling you that he would be at Raw in Omaha. He even said, he was like, "I'll be at Raw in Omaha." And we're like, yes, you will. Sol Ruca is going to sign her Raw contract. I don't think it's going to be while she plays guitar, though it would be very funny if it was. She's not going to sing any songs. She's going to, I guess, show up, sign her contract, and I don't know, someone will step up to her. Who's going to step up to Sol Ruca? Bayley.
Judgment Day, I assume.
Oh, okay, sure. She's going to go right into that Liv Morgan title feud.
I mean, I don't know if she's going to feud with Liv, but that's literally who she confronted when she made her debut. So it would make some sense that Judgment Day would, confront her when she's signing her contract.
She's all right. Let's do it. Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu will sign the people are signing a lot of contracts tonight. Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu will sign their Backlash contract at Backlash.
Yeah, Danhausen did the meme. It was very funny.
It was very funny. It's true. I love how the first one is him behind the brick wall, and then after that he realized everyone's doing it behind like the black, just like black with the silhouette. So he went and found an area that had like a black backdrop, and he started recording the rest of his at Backlashes there. It's very funny if you think about it, or if you go watch it. Anyway.
He changed his background on every at Backlash, I'm pretty sure.
I thought he just went from the one straight white background to like just black.
I think it was changed for all of them.
That would be even funninger. I thought that he was just on the one.
No, I'm pretty sure that was the bit, is that he changed them every single time.
Outside, dunking himself in the pool. Just something different each time. Anyway, regardless, good for him. At Backlash, he will have a match against The Miz and Kit Wilson and some other partner, I guess. Whoa. Who's going through the table? Roman Reigns or Jacob Fatu?
The Uso.
Fair. I mean, the show is on Saturday, so I could very much see Roman Reigns being put through the table.
Yeah, he might give Jacob. I mean, he gave Jacob something last week with the Tongan death grip. I just assume the Usos are getting laid out.
Hey, these aren't the contracts we originally agreed to. They've been restructured. That's right. They should absolutely do a restructured contract signing. Oh, could you just imagine? Just great stuff. Obafemi has an open challenge. Who will answer the Obafemi open challenge?
I don't know.
All right. Glad we had this chat. It's going to be Otis. It's just going to be Otis this round.
Otis, sure.
Yeah, Otis looking for his shot. Javon Evans and Penta team up to take on Rusev and Ethan Page. The Intercontinental Championship four-way is incoming, possibly as early as Backlash. At Backlash. Probably not, though. I think they'll just wait on that.
They already got 5 matches on Backlash. You guys got to stop trying to...
Yeah, it's done.
You guys got to stop trying to add matches to this show.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't realize I thought we were at 4 and we had one more. So no, for 5. Sorry, Val.
Yeah, they got Roman, Jacob, Seth and Braun, Io and Asuka, Danhausen, and Trick and Sammy. That's the 5.
Is that a stipulation with Trick and Sammy?
Not yet. Maybe it will be, but not yet. I don't think.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out soon.
It should be a gingerbread man memorial match.
A gingerbread drum match. Oh God. Finn Balor takes on JD McDonough again for some reason.
God, who cares?
I don't know why that's.
Why is Finn still in this Judgment Day vortex? Can we move on from this?
It's time. It's time to move on. Asuka and Io Sky will also appear. I'm sure that'll be them just talking about their matches. Probably in a pre-tape.
I don't know. No, Adam Pearce said that he's gonna try to get them together and hash things out or something. So
another contract signing is what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe it's another contract signing. Everyone should just do the contract signings at once.
They did that on NXT.
Put them all in the ring.
They did it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, this is great. You should just sign contracts together at the same time, because that's how you mitigate any violence, and you do it backstage where the crowd can't force you into violence. It's pretty straightforward. Sign the contracts, walk out, stop doing contract signings in wrestling. You don't need them.
Yeah.
Game over. Anyway, we're back tomorrow on on our main channel over on Five Clover Books. It'll be Jeremy and SB3, as far as I know. They'll probably talk about Wrestling Dontaku and everything else from the weekend that we didn't get into. But
we will definitely talk about Wrestling Dontaku Aku. We will talk about Raw if they give us anything to talk about.
Yeah.
And we'll have a serious sports discussion about Jaylen Brown.
Wow. It is Hook's birthday today. Everyone go wish Hook a happy birthday and go buy him a bag of chips. Doritos. Which one he wants, that's up to him. Anything else to plug?
No.
All right. We're back tomorrow over on the other channel on Fightful Overbooked. You can find us here at the top of every month on a Monday. And God bless you for sticking around. Leave a thumbs up on the way out, everyone.
Today.
This was the best episode we've ever done. We've been on a run of great episodes, but this one just took it to the top, and it's all downhill from here. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.